Okay, guys, I am absolutely terrible at this. I have attempted this twice and I have been disconnected. So, yeah, we're gonna give this another shot and see where it goes. I really just wanted to come on here today and talk about a couple of things with Guy. Because I've had a couple of questions from a few different friends about, what I'm doing, what journey I'm on, the things that I've been posting lately, And when it comes down to for me is I am on a light working mission right now, guys. So what that means is that I'm on a path right now to really enlighten people, to help people, to guide, to offer support, encouragement, anything on this journey that I possibly can to others. That's by no means saying I'm mastered anything because let's be real, if we're human, it encourages growth every single day. There's always going to be something that we need to heal from. There's always going to be triggers that come up in our life. I know this past week, we're going to get into some astrology, guys. I know this past week, energetically, with everything that was hitting, if you have Cancer in your chart right now, if you have Gemini in your chart right now, if you have Sagittarius in your chart right now, if you have Cap in your chart right now, Pisces even, there's so much going on energetically that it is insane. And I hopped onto one of my favorite channels and podcasts, and they were discussing, the energy that's going on right now. So many people are really questioning the value they put into their life. And it's not just value as in 3D stuff where it's, okay, what house do you have? What car do you drive? What job do you do? It's really about people tuning in on a soul deep level. People really getting in and diving in and figuring out what they're called to do. Because at the end of the day, we all have a calling. Everyone has a calling. Everyone has a purpose in this life. You are here for a reason. I cannot stress that enough. We are all here for a purpose. And for some of us, it's to light the way. For some of us, it's to shake things up and make change. For other people, it's literally to live and love. To live and to love people and to make a difference that way because, even a small impact is still a seed planted that grows. And I got in a really awesome discussion with, one of the friends that I'd made through this journey. And we were really discussing when it comes to enlightenment and people's journeys and how, you always see the after effect for people. You always see the sunshine and rainbows aspect of things. You always see when people are successful and they have money coming in and they have all of these wonderful things that they've brought in. You see people that are insanely false positive all the time about everything. And my intention with this and the community that I'm building and the website that I'm, the concept and the podcast that I'm working on, that will soon be up actually, which I'm super excited about, is that nothing is going to be perfect ever. And if you ever think that you've reached a point of perfection on your spiritual journey, a lot of the times you have a very quick wake-up call. Because perfection isn't achievable for us. Like, we are here to grow and to expand and to learn more and be more and do more and impact people in a way that really moves them on a soul deep level. And so energetically, what I found really fascinating the other day was that they got into this whole discussion, this whole construct of, the surface level that everyone for, the past hundreds of however many long years, I mean, really probably thousands of years if we're being technical, it's been very surface level. It's, what can we physically build? What can we physically change? What can we physically do? And now we've done the physical things. Like, they were talking about 5G and how 5G is coming out, and people are like, oh, that's cool. Like, my phone, it's pretty fast. You have all these new things coming out for cars or houses, and it's been done. It's repetition. So there's only so much that we can do physically in this world that we can reach a pinnacle of. Then it becomes having to go within, having to dig deeper, and really start to work on things internally. And a lot of people, are afraid to dig deep. There's this innate fear embedded in some people where, you know, it hurts too much, or it's there's too much fear associated with things. And part of the healing and the growth is getting past the fear. You know, because the fear, if you really look at fear, every time you've been afraid to do something and you did it, you've either got exactly what you were hoping for. You know, you got this opportunity, this blessing, or you got this insane lesson, this point of growth in your life that really pushed you forward. You know, most of the people that I've encountered on this journey, especially everyone that's working in light and living in light and just truly loving and being good to people, have come from probably the shittiest shit shows I've seen. It's, excuse my language, guys, but it is what it is. You're gonna get real with me, and I'm gonna get real with you. So, they have come probably from the shittiest of shit shows possible, and it is because you can't really embrace light unless you've known dark at some point in your life. I know for me, it stemmed from my childhood. And my childhood caused innate triggers my entire life based off of experiences that I'd had as a kid. And most of this was before 10 years old. You know, it shaped my core. And it took a lifetime of lessons learned and processing until I finally kind of reached the point where I realized that even if I can't immediately fix something inside of me, because, I mean, some things, they're so deep that they don't just, you can't just snap your fingers and it goes away. That's not really the way it works. But what you can do is become more aware of it. You know, when you start to find yourself in a situation and it makes you anxious, or it makes you stressed, or it makes you a little bit irritated or angry, you know, we're all experiencing life from our perspectives. So when you get in that situation, pulling back and really saying, okay, what is it about this that's making me so angry right now? Or why am I so irritated? Or, you know, for a lot of people, it comes from ego. It's judgment. You know, like you have certain thoughts and you're like, oh my God, look at that. And then you finally check yourself and you're like, who am I to judge somebody right now? Like, who am I? Who am I to dictate someone's experience and the way they're living their life? Because a lot of the times, the way some people are living their life, they are living fully in ego, and that's on them. You know, when you get to a point of being spiritually in tune and enlightened, you finally start to realize that we're all here for our own journey. We're all here in our own little world. We are all connected in this world, but we all have our own little bubbles. We all have our own quirks and intricacies and experiences in this life. What I went through, someone else isn't going to go through, and what someone else went through, I will never experience. And there's no right or wrong. There's no harder or, you know, easier. We all go through things. And I mean, to denote and kind of dictate someone else's experience based off of yours, that's coming from ego, guys. That's coming from a level of superficial spiritual superiority, and that just doesn't exist. It just doesn't. I mean, if you get to where you think you're above people spiritually because of the things you have or the life that you live or what you've manifested or brought into your life, then that's an ego complex, and that has to be healed. Because you're going to start, I mean, oh man, like this is a whole nother tangent, but that's fine, because that's what we're doing, right? We're going to talk about spirituality and divine power, so that's what we're rolling with. I've noticed a lot of people that manifest things, and it's such a hard subject, because it's like, I am a firm believer in manifestation. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely believe in the law of attraction, of polarity, of manifestation. You know, where there's light, there's dark, and where there's up, there's down. It's all interconnected. But my big thing that I always tell people, and I'm like, because I've done this and I've seen it done so many times in people's lives, that if you're manifesting from a state of lack, if you're manifesting from desperation, if you're manifesting from neediness, you are going to bring more of that into your life. That is exactly what you're going to bring to yourself. And that is the last thing that you want. You know, you're trying to, that's not to say you can't put your faith out there in the universe, and, you know, but there's a difference between standing in your soul and putting faith and saying, like, okay, I'm going to make this happen. This is going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know the steps. I don't know day by day what I'm going, you know, but I'm going to put the work in where it's required, where I'm being called to do that, and I'm going to step forward into that power, and I'm going to get there, versus putting all your energy in expectations. That's where a lot of people, I guess, get confused about it too. Because if you're manifesting with expectations of, I want this house to look like this, and I want this to look like this, and I want this to look like that, and I'm going to get there by doing this. That's a lot of stipulations for anything. But for energy, that is a huge block. Huge block. Because when you put expectations on things, you put this, I guess, this kind of programming in your mind where you think that this is how it's going to operate, and this is how things are going to look, and this is how this is going to work. And when it doesn't meet that, and when it doesn't look like, the picture you had in your mind, it's like, this isn't it yet. I'm not there. And you could very well be on your way there. You could pass up opportunities that get presented to you because it doesn't look like you want it to. And in reality, sometimes, God, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, they come in and they give us these beautiful gifts, and we don't notice or acknowledge it because we're not aware of it. Because it doesn't look like we thought it would. I always laugh about it, and I say, whether you get a gift in a box or you get a gift, with a bow, and you get a gift that's in a bag with nice, pretty wrapping paper, like, tissue paper, whatever. It's still a gift. At the end of the day, it's a gift. Whether it's in a paper bag or a box, it's a gift. A gift is a gift. And it's about getting in tune. Sorry, I get to channeling. I'm like, it's about getting in tune with who you really are and embracing that. And the more you do that, the more you become aware of really what gifts look like to you, what's going to align. There's a difference between making decisions and passing up things in order to stay in alignment with what you're called to do, and passing up opportunities and gifts that really could guide you and help you in that direction. You have to get to a point where you recognize the difference between the two. And that comes into play big time with manifestation, because I've literally seen people where, they're manifesting from a wound. And I mean, all a wound, a trigger, whatever you want to call it, if you don't know what it is, it's really things that have been embedded in us from our childhood that we've held on to, and that have really dictated things in our life that we're not even aware of. And, if you try to manifest something from a wound, let's say you have a wound where you have a self-worth issue. Okay, well then every, relationship situation you bring into you, until you heal that wound, a lot of the times it's going to trigger it and it's going to impact it. Now that's not to say that like every relationship you call in is going to be horrible. It's a part of growth, People come in for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. That's a part of the journey. But the impact they make on you can either push you forward towards healing it or push you more inward towards embracing it. And knowing the difference between the two is what really, it's not the easiest thing to do, and I think that's part of what my calling is on this journey, is helping people recognize, and I've always done this, I guess, and looking back on it now, I'm like, how did I not notice it? I've always been able to really look and connect with people and see where their wounds lie, what they stem from, connecting and talking to people about their past and things like that. I'm able to kind of look in and see where a wound is, and then connecting with them, I'm able to really reach and kind of help guide people to healing it, to, really solving that wound and healing that wound up, versus going within and digging deeper into it. Because the digger, the digger, I guess, right? The bigger, and the more you dig into that wound, it's going to get huge. It's going to get huge, and then it's going to become a gaping wound, and then it's going to become apparent, and then it puts you into a state of stagnancy and depression, and just, I don't want that. I don't want that for anyone on their journey. I don't want that for you guys. I don't want that for anyone that I connect with. I really want to help people that way. And so for me, when it comes to the wound, and let's say self-worth. You have an issue with self-worth, and you call someone in. And until that wound's healed, you're going to repeat a cycle and a cycle and a cycle until you finally address it, heal it, and then the next time around, when you are bringing people into your life, that wound's healed. So let's say you call into someone that, if you're lacking self-worth, a lot of the times you call in people that don't value you, that use you, that abuse you. I mean, there's just a lot of that entails. And that's not negating anything someone goes through, because I've literally been there. I know what it's like to be in a emotionally, physically, just energetically abusive relationship. I know. But until you heal that wound and you really stand in that power and don't put up with it, don't deal with it, and don't invite it into your life, the cycle keeps repeating. If you call in people that are broken, that, they have alcohol problems, or they have drug problems, or they have jealousy issues, or whatever that is, that's something inside you. Not saying, you yourself are an alcoholic, you could very well be, but it's more about the fact that you don't have the worth deep embedded inside of you that needs to be healed. Because if you're a fixer, and I am a fixer, I am Mrs. Fix-It, I fully understand what I want to do is still working in that light, but it's doing it from a place of protecting my energy. If you're a fixer, you're going to continually attract people that needs to be fixed, and it's not because you're a healer and it's just, oh, I want to heal, I want to fix people. A lot of the times that stems from the fact that you require validation. You need affirmation. You need that. And you can't find it externally. You find it internally. And for me, that was a big one. That was probably the biggest eye-opener that I had. Because I dictated and I called in a lot of people that were in need of healing, of fixing, of, all of my energy pouring into these people. And then what's really funny is the moment that I would really take my energy out of that equation, a lot of the people would get called to fix, get called to heal themselves. And it was just like, are you kidding me right now? I poured so much of my soul and my energy into this person, and then as soon as I take my energy back, it's like they decide to do work. And that's where light work comes in. That's where healing comes in. You don't pour your all into someone. You're there to help, to guide, to heal. But they have to find a way to pour into themselves. And that was just like it, guys, it blew my mind. It completely just changed my course. It blew my mind because I know countless people in my life. I am surrounded by people that are constantly wanting to heal and fix things. And it's like, man, and so that stemmed from self-worth, self-esteem, validation, affirmation, things that I never got as a kid that really, from the time I was probably 2 or 3 years old. Just little things that you never really notice or how they connect. It's all interconnected. It makes you who you are today. And a lot of it's childhood stuff. That's something I like to do. I like to work with people. That's a part of what I offer is I want to work with people and connect with them and discuss childhood and things like that in order to help them maybe see things that are beneath the surface that they might not have realized before. That's a part of the calling. And as a healer, it's not up to us to fix the people. It's not up to us to give our all and drain and just feel energetically, empty. We can't give until we're empty. That's not the way it works. It's just for us to really show people the way, and they have to do the work, because otherwise it doesn't stick. That saying people don't change, well, I don't think that's true. I've seen it firsthand. People change. But they have to want to change themselves, and it has to be a self-motivated internal thing. It can't be because I have to change for this, or I have to change for that, or for this person, or for this job, or it's not going to stick. You have to want to change inside, and it has to be something motivating you, recognizing something in you that needs to be healed and fixed. That's when change occurs. That's when it happens. It has nothing to do with other people. People can tell you all day long, you need to change this, you need to fix that, you need to fix this. Well, some people take that negatively and they go inside and they think something's wrong with them. So guess what? Nothing changes. Because they feel depressed, sad, stagnant, lack of energy, lack of just affirmation in themselves. But if you show people, hey, maybe you don't want to change this because, you need to build a little bit more self-love. You need to take care of yourself more. You need to do this. And maybe that will spark some change inside of you. And watch them try it, and you'll be amazed sometimes at how quickly things can change for people when they finally start pouring into themselves. Because a lot of us are running on half empty, and we don't even realize it. And again, that's another thing with me that is very big, is running on half empty is not the way you want to live your life. You want to live it fully. And in order to live it fully, you really have to pour into yourself and your soul. You deserve it. We all deserve it. We all deserve that love. But the greatest love you can give is to yourself. You know, at the end of the day, and that's me coming from me, someone that's married and a mom. At the end of the day, all the relationships that I have in my life, if I don't pour into myself at some point, I'm not giving all that I have. You know, I'm not giving from a whole place of being. I'm not giving from a full cup inside. I'm just giving from part of my soul. I'm just giving from what I have to give. No. You know, you want to give from your full cup. You want to really be able to connect with people on the level of being full and whole and complete within yourself. And that's what the divine power is. That's how you get there. You purge, you heal, you grow. All this energetically going on right now, guys. We are being called to step up into this. And it can be overwhelming. It can be scary. You can have shit thrown at you left and right in order to throw you off course. That's how it works sometimes. All the energy going on, it's like, no. We don't want the people that can make a difference to make a difference. So let's throw this obstacle in the way, or let's deter this, or let's put a roadblock. And it's get in tune with your soul. At the end of the day, get in tune with your soul. And I promise you, every roadblock that comes your way, if you tune in and you're like, it's happening. I don't care how I'm getting there. I don't care what it's going to look like. I just know it's going to bring me fulfillment. I know I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make an impact. Every roadblock that comes your way, I guarantee you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh. And it's funny because it's a hard place to get to. But you'll get to where you're like laughing about a roadblock. Like, I had a trigger last week. I discussed it with a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine. And I was telling her about how, you know, I'd been feeling so positive and so uplifted, and then this energy just like pounded me down. And I had to take a couple days where I just wasn't in my essence. I just wasn't me. I had to do it. I had to heal it. And I realized that it lacked, you know, my self-worth. My self-worth was coming into question. And not to get too out there, but, you know, astrology-wise, my Chiron, which is the healing that comes into your chart, was being pounded into the ground, opposed and hit and conjuncted and just. And for me, I was just like feeling every little bit of it because it's my sense of self. It's the healing that I had to take place. Something inside of me needed to be healed. And it was, you know, my self-worth. And it's a continual process, guys. But man, it's worth it. It is so worth it. I can't even begin to stress how much it's worth it to really go in, heal yourselves, work on yourselves, and, you know, tune into your soul. If you're not a meditation person, okay, go step outside and get grounded. You know, go put your feet in the dirt. Go put your feet in the sand. Go to the beach if the beach draws you. If it's a nice hot shower, if it's a nice warm bath, if it's dancing, if it's anything that sparks joy and ignites something inside of you, do more of that during this time. That's all I had to say, guys. Yeah. I hope you guys have a fantastic Tuesday ahead. Yeah, next time I want to try and do this a little bit later, maybe in the evening. Let me know down below if that's something you could do, manage, want to talk, communicate, if you have any questions. I'll see you guys later. Love and light. Bye.